So on that last piece, Mr. President, I think it's somewhat problematic to talk about changing the rules or the requirements for what a Board of Elections Commissioner, what the qualifications are for a Board of Elections Commissioner in a year, which is 2024, and they would have to complete this process, I understand, after Election Day in 2024, no later than, so they're absolute, and not that government doesn't always move quickly, in this case they may, but no later than the end of December in 2024, which is the year that this chamber is up for re-election in our 2-year term, which I think could be problematic. But I don't believe overall I've got a problem with this piece of legislation because I don't believe that we should be creating a political class of Board of Elections of individuals that are our commissioners. We need public servants who have qualifications like integrity, enfranchisement in their heart, fairness in their soul, and I reject the idea that county commissioners are unqualified, need to be better test takers, need to meet requirements that Albany requires of them. For over 200 years, this system has worked well, and I think if, hearing the thoughts of my colleague in his last speech about changing election law, yeah, I think you're absolutely right to point out that we need to encourage people to know that there's a fair system. One way that you can undermine the idea that our elections are free and fair currently is to say, our Board of Elections Commissioners in New York State are unqualified, and that's why we have to change the law in order to make sure that they're fully qualified to do their job. Well, that doesn't give people a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith in the hard job that our elections commissioners do. I think we'd make that job a lot easier if we didn't change the election law 200 times a year, so they're always scrambling to figure it out. And there's not a list of qualifications that we're going to prescribe in this chamber or we're going to delegate to the State Board of Elections that's going to change that fact. So with that said, Mr. President, I'll be voting no, and I encourage my colleagues to do the same.